Hey everyone, my name is Alex LaRosa and I am an advisor and certified financial planner with Blue Bell Wealth Management. I wanted to film a short video today talking about the R word, or recession. If you live on this planet in this year, 2022, you've probably heard this word being thrown around, right? Through the media, social media, you probably heard it at family gatherings, you've probably talked about it with your friends. It's been hard to avoid that word. So I want to make this video to talk a little bit about what a recession is, right? Look at some of the facts about recessions, what it means for markets, what it means for investors, and just kind of unpack what it actually means to the average person, right? So as of filming this video, the S&P 500 is down roughly 20% from its all-time highs, and we are one negative GDP print away from being in a classified recession. Right. So if you remember, we actually did have a recession in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, I'm going to remove that when talking about some of these averages and some of these facts, because it was the shortest recession in history, lasting only 2 months. And it didn't really have to do much with the ebbs and flows of the business cycle rather than the policies of trying to prevent the spread of the virus. Which means the last average, typical recession that we had was actually 2008 to 2009. So let's back up for a second. What is a recession? As I mentioned earlier, we've already had one negative GDP print, right? So a recession is when you have 2 consecutive quarters of declining economic growth measured by gross domestic product, or GDP. We'll be awaiting the Q2 GDP read in the next few weeks to see if we are in a classified recession. So I'm going to be looking at post-World War II recessions when talking about some of the averages here, right? So since World War II, a recession has occurred on average every 58.4 months, or once every 5 years. The average one has lasted about 11.1 months, and the longest post-war recession we had was 2007 to 2009, the last one we had, which lasted about 18 months. On average, a recession brings with it a drop of 34.8% in the stock market. During the Great Recession, we saw a 54% pullback, and it was one of the largest ones since the Great Depression. Now, the important thing to remember about recessions is they are part of the business cycle, as I mentioned. We can't have the expansion and growth without the contraction and the recessions, right? And recessions and the bear markets that they bring with them can bring a lot of pain in the short term, right? And every time we have one, you're going to hear on the media about how this one's different, this one's different. But just like every recession that has come and gone in the past, this one will also come and go, right? It just really depends on how long it's going to last and the depth of what it's going to bring with it. But eventually, look, the market's going to bottom out, consumer sentiment will turn around, and economic growth will start expanding, right? The unknown is just the when and the how, but it will. Bear markets are usually followed by bull markets, right, where they see swift gains in a short amount of time. For example, the S&P 500 bottomed out at 777 on October 9th, 2002, following a 2.5-year bear market. The stock market index then gained 15% over the following month and a total of 34% over the following year. Another example, the S&P 500 bottomed at 676.5 on March 9th, 2009, after declining 57%. Right? From there, it began a remarkable ascent, roughly doubling in the following 48 months. It's important not to let your emotions drive your financial and investment decisions. Human behavior can often be detrimental to our finances, causing us to make poor decisions. Instead, use this time to do some financial planning, right? Having a plan can help maintain the perspective during market turmoil, right? It can help you focus on your goals and know that you're taking the appropriate risk for what you're trying to accomplish. Thank you and have a great day.